Welcome to KUT's News Quiz. I'm your host, Kelsey Starks. Let's get right into things with a geography challenge question. On which continent will you find the United Arab Emirates? The United Arab Emirates, or the UAE, is located in the Middle East on the Arabian Peninsula. It borders Saudi Arabia and the Persian Gulf. The Emirates are a federation of 7 states with a central government, and it is an important economic location for Middle Eastern nations. Can you locate it? On which continent will you find the United Arab Emirates? That answer after the news. Well, topping our news this week, the U.S. presidential election. As we told you last week, it took days to count the ballots from the public or popular vote in several states, and the numbers went back and forth between our current president, Republican Donald Trump, and his Democratic opponent, Joe Biden. The voter turnout in this election was much higher than previous elections. The popular vote in each state, all those ballots that are counted, shows electors in the Electoral College which candidate to choose. The Electoral College is the second step in the presidential election process. Votes from this group elect our leader. Each state has a number of electors based on population and the number of representatives and senators in the U.S. Congress. For instance, Kentucky has 8 electors. Georgia has 16. Those are the numbers you probably saw if you watched any television coverage of the election. To win the presidency, a candidate needs at least 270 electoral votes. With most ballots counted, Joe Biden has been declared the apparent winner. The count in his home state of Pennsylvania put him over the top. We can still expect recounts and possible court cases, but it appears that Joe Biden will be the 46th president of the United States. Voters in every state also elected congressional representatives for the U.S. House of Representatives. In several states, U.S. Senate seats were on the ballot too. Here in Kentucky, the race was between incumbent Senator Republican Mitch McConnell and his main opponent, Democrat Amy McGrath. Senator McConnell won that race. He's been representing Kentucky in the Senate since 1984. The senior senator is also the Senate Majority Leader. Republicans hold the majority of the 100 seats in the U.S. Senate right now, and Senator McConnell was chosen as that leader. That leadership could change, however, after recounts and runoff races in Georgia. We'll have more on that in our upcoming shows. Whew, that is a lot of information for you to think about. We'll take a breath here and look at the first part of today's quiz. Questions 1 and 2 are all about the presidential race. Question 1. When citizens cast their votes for president, it is called the A. Common vote, B. Popular vote, or C. Individual vote. Question 2. To win the presidency, 270 votes are required from the A. Ivy League College, B. Voters College, or C. Electoral College. Questions 3 and 4 are about the congressional elections. Question 3. Kentucky's senior U.S. Senator is A. Mitch McConnell, B. Amy McGrath, or C. Rand Paul. And question 4. True or false? The political party that holds the most seats in the U.S. Senate is called the majority. Is that statement true or false? In world news, many European countries are going into lockdown for a second time this year because of rising COVID-19 cases. In Paris, France, there were street protests from a few hundred people who opposed the shutdowns. Most, however, were in favor of the lockdown as a way to protect the people. England and Germany were quiet as their quarantine began again. The rules aren't as strict as the first lockdown. Schools and some businesses will stay open. Construction workers, for instance, can keep working on their projects, but restaurants and other businesses are affected. They expect financial hardships because of the lockdown. Severe weather has also been affecting parts of the world besides the U.S. We've talked about hurricanes here. Well, in other areas, those storms are known as typhoons. If the storm begins in the northwest Pacific Ocean, typhoon is the term used. Those are the storms that recently hit the Asian nations of the Philippines and Vietnam. Typhoon Goni was one of the strongest typhoons to hit land in the past followed Typhoon Molave that battered both countries. Both storms destroyed homes and businesses with strong winds, floods, and landslides. There is some good news coming from the animal world. A national park in Kenya is reporting an elephant baby boom. 205 elephant calves have been born this year. Conservationists say 2 years of good rainy seasons have helped with the elephants' health and care. This is a record number of calves born in 1 year, and they expect even more in December. They've also noted a rise in lion pup births across the African nation. Experts worried that lions might be extinct in Kenya by the year 2050, but this year holds promise. A program called the Lion Guardians is trying to help the cause. They're encouraging local hunters to track, monitor, and protect the animals instead. Well, the second part of today's quiz may help your cause. You'll be quarantined again for question 5. Several countries are in protective lockdowns in A. Africa, B. South America, or C. Europe. Question 6 is about the devastating weather. Vietnam and the Philippines were hit by A. Typhoons, B. Tornadoes, or C. Blizzards. And question 7 may make you roar. Kenya is reporting higher numbers of baby elephants and A. Tigers, B. Cheetahs, or C. Lions. Well, now we turn our attention to some stories you might find tasty. The first is a sheep milk cheese made called Brinza, which is only made in Ukraine. Ukraine is a large country in Eastern Europe. It neighbors Romania and borders the Black Sea. The capital of Ukraine is Kyiv. For centuries, shepherds have milked their sheep and made the cheese, which is sold throughout the country. But shepherding isn't a popular profession anymore. It requires long hours and hard work. An association was formed several years ago to promote the job and increase income from sheep products: wool, meat, milk, and of course, Brinza. Now Ukrainian officials want Brinza named as a cultural heritage, so it can only be produced in their country, which would benefit the shepherds. Over in Kosovo, in southeastern Europe, a foundation is finding a way to put ugly fruits and vegetables to use instead of throwing them away. Farmers often have a lot of products that shops won't accept because they don't look good. But this foundation is now taking this ugly produce and turning it into what they're calling disco soup that is served to the community. Organizers hope to educate people about food waste and introduce them to new ways of using the unwanted products. And moving westward now to Italy, the boot-shaped country was the site of a sweet bread bake-off. Panettone is a sweet bread usually made with raisins or candied fruits. It's similar to fruitcake and is a popular treat around the Christmas holiday. It was first made in Italy. The best panettone in the World Championship had 300 competitors this year. With the pandemic, the entries all had to be mailed to Italy. The breads came in from all over the world, including the U.S., but the top prize went to an Italian bake-off. We'll take your sweet tooth into the final part of today's quiz now. Question 8 is about the Ukrainian food. Brinza is a cheese made from A. Goat milk, B. Sheep milk, or C. Cow milk. Warm up with question 9. Disco soup was made from unwanted A. bread, B. meat, or C. vegetables. And question 10 is a sweet treat. The Panettone bake-off was judged in A. Italy, B. France, or C. Austria. Now let's take one more look at some of the book characters you would choose to meet. Kevin sent us his opinion from Blue Hills Elementary in California. He says, I would like to meet Dink from the A to Z Mysteries because he is always getting into fun mysteries. Eli from Woodville Elementary's 3rd grade and Kate from the 3rd grade at Immaculate Heart of Mary in Kentucky both enjoy the Magic Treehouse books. Those are good. Eli wants to meet Jack because it would be cool for him to take me on one of their adventures. And Kate would enjoy meeting Annie because I would like to go back in time to see our country's history. Very cool. Rylan is in the 4th grade at Pogue Elementary in Ashland. There's a wimpy hero on his wish list. I would like to meet Greg from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. It is one of my favorite book series. He is funny and goofy, and he always has something going on. That's the truth. Kason is a 4th grader at Austin Tracy Elementary in Barron County. He wants to visit younger years. I would meet Pooh Bear because my mom used to read his books to me when I was little. And Flora from Meadowthorpe Elementary's 5th grade in Lexington would choose to meet Laura Ingalls Wilder from the series Little House on the Prairie. I think it would be cool and fascinating to see how pioneers lived their lives. Those are all great answers. Now it's time for you to consider a brand new opinion question. Think about the panettone the chefs were making and about some of the delicious stuff you enjoy eating during the holidays. Well, now we want to know, what is your favorite holiday food? Why is it your favorite? Keep in mind, this doesn't have to be a Thanksgiving or Christmas food, and we know we have some international news quiz watchers, so we'd like to hear about the dishes that you and your families enjoy too. It could be the flavors that make it your favorite, or maybe it's just because you get to help cook it. If so, we want to know all about it. Tell us, what is your favorite holiday food, and why do you like it so much? Email your letters to us at newsquiz@ket.org or use the form at ket.org/newsquiz. Be sure to include your name, grade, school, and teacher's name in your response. You can even send us a picture if you'd like. We'll share some of your treats here in a couple of weeks. Okay, time to picture today's answers now. We'll jump back first to that challenge question. Asia is the continent where you would find the United Arab Emirates. And in the Emirates, you will find Dubai, a very wealthy area known for its glitzy and innovative architecture, including the world's largest fountain. The enormous Palm Fountain has more than 3,000 lights and can shoot water more than 340 feet into the air. The fountain puts the shows on every night from sunset until midnight, dancing to all sorts of music. All right, here are the rest of today's answers. The answer to question 1 is B. The popular vote is placed using voters' ballots. The answer to question 2 is C. 270 votes from the Electoral College is needed to win the presidency. The answer to question 3 is A. Senator Mitch McConnell is Kentucky's senior U.S. Senator. The answer to question 4 is true. The party with the most seats is called the Senate Majority. The answer to question 5 is C. Europe is where several countries have gone back into COVID lockdown. The answer to question 6 is A. Typhoons hit Vietnam and the Philippines. The answer to question 7 is C. Lion cubs and elephant calves were more plentiful in Kenya this year. The answer to question 8 is B. Sheep milk is used to make the Brinza cheese. The answer to question 9 is C. Ugly vegetables make a tasty disco soup in Kosovo. And the answer to question 10 is A. Italy is where the world's best panettone championship was held. Finally today, London, England's National Portrait Gallery displayed a special exhibit in honor of the 2nd season of Disney's The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian